Hey, Lauren, here's a question for you that I am really curious your opinion on because you were sort of at the very beginning of when computers started to be used for creating art, Um, like when it became a real thing. Like what do you think the trajectory is going to be with all these AI tools that are out and are coming, etc. Like what's that going to do to the craft? And what's your kind of like view? Are you excited about it? Are you like nervous about it? Both? What?
I was in a situation as we were starting to go into this current venture where, I needed to visualize stuff. I didn't have the artistic talent. I didn't have the AAA production designers. And some of where we did hire some, it was just taking too long, to manifest deals. So started using some tools with some really talented folks that we had built relationships with because we started doing distributed development and really figured that out over the last 13 years, like really figured it out. And I was equally excited and probably more terrified because I'll give you an example. Um, I was at the Lightbox Expo recently. The Lightbox Expo is like where all the professional artists and production designers for movies and films, and they're flocking to Bobby Chu's conference in Pasadena. It's great. If for artists, go. You'll just be blown away. It's like what Comic Con used to be in the '80s, right? So all the artists and almost it. And I'm sitting in the audience listening to big production designers, who I have tremendous respect for, right? And they're saying, "Don't worry, it's never going to replace these roles." And I'm sitting there with almost tears in my eyes, going, "It already has. You just don't know yet." Because the output, and this is what I find so terrifying, and I feel like it's a similar discussion as the one we were hearing back with 3D animation, and the Disney owners were saying it will never make a 90-minute movie that people care about. It will never have the integrity of a Disney animated film. We will never do it. They all wound up out of work. Pixar becomes the most successful film studio in history, right? And and so the ones who adapted, though, John Lasseter, right? He was a traditional animator out of Disney. Few other people, they became kings of a new industry. And it was very similar to those arguments then, except with a much deeper consequence now. And so I found us having to start to utilize aspects of it. And at the time, I was thinking this is going to get me in trouble, but I'm saying, like, be afraid. And I find no joy in this. But we're still looking at deals and financing and stuff of that nature. And I can tell you the financial community, that's all they want to hear. If it's an optimization in a standard, a way to do things faster, better, cheaper, well, usually you only get two. Now it's three, and all three, right? They said better, faster, cheaper. Pick
Yep,
two.
that's
Well,
right.
AI,
You get
it's
all
three.
Yeah.
three now.
I can say I was in a VC pitch like a month ago talking about something that I'm working on, and it's not AI related. And the investor stopped me in the middle and said, "You haven't mentioned AI yet," and basically hung up on me. I kind of share that sentiment. It's my view has started to move that way, though. I'm just such an optimist. I gotta believe that with better tools, we'll be able to do more things, which will create more opportunities. But that could be naive. I don't know. But that's where I hope things will go. It's like you say, some roles may become less uh, uh, I guess valuable, but lots of new roles will open up. But who knows? Who knows?
Well, I think, if you'd say who's really benefiting, aside from financial powers, right? Um, who's really benefiting is, like, look at how many little short stories we're watching on TikTok, YouTube now, Instagram, and all of a sudden now they all have, even Joe Rogan's shorts, they have AI imagery generating to help visualize the
His
story.
voice too.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not happy about that. But like what that's done, and this is like I try to see the future clearly, regardless of my bias, and I got a strong bias being someone who leveraged craftsmanship all along the way. And I know a number of things that are going on there. And what you just said, there's not one venture capitalist that you're going to talk to, or a big equity fund, that's not going to qualify you on how you're optimizing the business model that you're proposing without AI. It does not exist. And so when people say our company will never, you go, yeah, they will, because the shareholder's going to make you, and the board's going to make you, and all you're going to need is one flop, and someone else smokes you, and then that's the writing on the wall. And I don't like that world. I don't. I think it's really sad. I align with Elon. We should be pausing and really understanding the ramifications, because it's huge. And but you look at it, you go, well, who's benefiting? Well, the people who are making short stories, influencers, things like this, and they could never afford to have those made as traditional pieces of art. Now they'll spend 1 to 2 days and they generate it all. And so it's kind of like a next dimension of desktop publishing, where you get illustrators for the price of your account, right? And now what happened to me was I believed that it was going to be, it could provide inspirational artwork, so that you had kind of like, here's what I'm thinking, right? And you could produce that, and you didn't have 2 months to wait for a production designer, to deliver, and they're all in high demand. So you know how high demand creates certain laxes, and you take what you can get. And all of a sudden, with some of the people I'm working with, we understood, AI is like adopting or having a child, and you need to be very particular with how you're training it, because it's going to become something else under your account. And but I started seeing, and I thought, but it's not going to do production design, right? So we started doing stuff, and I'm starting to see, like, I'll say, this is what I'm looking for. And then as a painter, I can go in and I can modify something. So I'm getting drafts. I consider it drafts, right? But I would wake up in the morning and have 60, 70 images in my box that looked like they were fully complete productions off a movie, right?
Yeah.
And that was my scrap heap to now use as Photoshop fodder. And it's like, whoa. And that was the beginning. And then we got, like, versions would come out new.
Yep.
And I wanted to understand this from multiple perspectives, philosophical, societal, civilization wise, and then practically. And what do you need to do if you want to go out and raise millions of dollars for a project today? Good luck. Good luck. Because I can tell you, the financial community has no interest if you're not embracing these kinds of tools, and that will dictate what comes. And I'm sorry, like, my heart breaks. And so to the artists, I say, you got to start looking at this, because like CG, it's not going to go away. You can resist, but you can be a leader as well. You can be a John Lasseter in this space. And I'm not a proponent. I'm being dragged along.
You're a realist. You're a realist.
I think so. I think so.
I think it's a really good point of view to hear. Like, for you to say it, people to hear it. You could be a John Lasseter and embrace this technology, or you can deny it, but deny it's not really going to get you anywhere.
It might last for a little while. You might work with a company that has a position that's a big company, filmmaking company, and they say, we're not going to use that. Don't worry, your jobs are secure. You could buy into that for now, but the way the world works, Wall Street will dictate it. And I find that heartbreaking. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.